Hi, my name is Nicole, licensed clinician, and we are talking about some holiday stuff. So by the time this particular video airs, I think it will be actually Christmas Day and potentially maybe a little bit too late for some proactive coping regarding being around family. But if it's not too late, I like the idea of having a plan before you go into whatever situation it is with whoever it is that might be challenging for you. And I think that also, unfortunately, probably means to set your expectations very, very, very low. I was talking to one of my clients the other day, and she said that she and her husband decided to basically like make a joke out of the tenser parts of being with their family for the holiday. Um, and then, hey, you know what? If like basically if anything better than baseline zero happens, then like that's amazing, right? But then if you set your expectations up here that like, oh, this year, this person's gonna treat me better, or they're gonna like listen to me, or they're gonna do this or that or the other thing. We set our expectations up here, and then like we're bound to be disappointed because unless somebody is going through like therapy and really intensively working on themselves, there's probably not going to be much of a difference from one holiday to the next in their personality and the way that they interact with people. So, setting realistic expectations, but also kind of setting them just a little bit lower than realistic. This way, anything that you get that's like not horrible is going to be good, right? If you are a parent and you have young children and you're the only person in your family that has young children and like you just tend to be taking care of your children just at somebody else's house, that can be really stressful and annoying. And it's like, what's the point of even coming here if nobody's really interacting with my kids and like I don't get to interact with anybody because I'm chasing my kids around. Um, and I'm sure that's like a more of a common thing that happens than people would like to admit sometimes. So if you're in a situation like that, then if you just like kind of expect like, hey, you know what, like I'm probably gonna be just chasing my kids around, and that's fine. They're still getting the memories of being around a bunch of family and playing and having fun. Then whatever conversations you get to have and connections you get to have with your family members is going to be like a bonus, right? Or if one of your family members goes off and is playing with your kids, and like that's a bonus rather than saying like my expectation is that I get to socialize and other people spend time with my children. Um, and that being said, like not saying that in like an entitled way, but just saying like sometimes it's nice to see your children have a relationship with other people in your family, even if you don't see them very often, right? Or especially if you don't see them very often. It's nice that your children have the relationship and that they know that they have other family outside of like just their parents, right? So it's not necessarily going into the situation expecting or feeling entitled for people to like take care of your children for you so that you can be over here socializing, but it's an opportunity, and I think something that we want to see our children be able to have that connection, and also for us to be able to connect as well, right? So um, maybe you know having that expectation of having like more of a village mentality sometimes is just a little bit too high these days because we no longer really have the village. And so just kind of setting that bar really low and saying like, hey, if this happens, then that's fantastic. And if it doesn't, then, that's okay too. And maybe hopefully when the kids get older, they can kind of, join the adult conversation and have a little bit more of that connection with their family members, whoever's left at that time. Right. So I did, like I said, enjoy the fact that my clients, that her and her husband kind of made a joke and like set that bar low. And I think not always, but sometimes it's a good strategy to set the bar low and then be pleasantly surprised rather than set the bar high and be chronically disappointed. So with that said, hopefully your Christmas and or whatever holiday you're celebrating is going well, and we can kind of talk about in the next video or two recovery from all the family time.